Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. How's your Monday?
It's good. It's good to be on a public holiday. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's nice and slow. It's really good. Thank you.
So, I would like us to start here.
Mhm.
I just want to tell us, how do I encourage a critical thinking and a solve as someone who's gonna be very much quick in terms of solving problems in my kid? How do I do that?
All right. Firstly, I'd say that in terms of critical thinking, I always say it depends on the age of your child and the stage that they are in. Do you understand? Because
Yeah,
the way in which you will address umntana ona 6 is different to the way you will address umntana ona 15. Do you understand? So the way in
yeah.
which you encourage them to think about things or to understand certain situations is definitely different. But for example, I would definitely encourage that you ask them questions about whatever situation is happening. You understand?
Mm,
So that you probe umntana, so that you understand as umzali or umuntu omdala how umntanakho understands the situation or what is happening. So that from that point you guide them and harness what is correct, but help them view it differently if they are wrong. You know,
yeah.
because of course how umntana thinks it's very different, but it's very important to understand bona how they understand the situation and how you can help them then think differently should they be wrong.
Ndiyakuva kakuhle uthi you need to ask them questions so that
Mm,
you can get into yobana how bacinga njani and stuff.
mm, mm,
And then ke
mm,
ngoku based on that
mm,
you did ask these questions to your child and now you have an idea of
mm.
uba ungumuntu onjani yena. And then ke
That's
ngoku how do you assist umntanakho to make sure in terms of activities apha endlini after school to make sure into yobana oh okay iyablenda le nto yami with the end goal endiyifuneka because I want this person to make sure into yobana at the end of the day uzawukwazi uthatha izigqibo without me xa ekhule bamdala. And so mhlambi what are the activities that one can use at home to make sure into yobana iyamncedisa umntana wakhe to develop.
Okay. Thank you for that. So in terms of activities per se, look, as a child, I mean, as a parent, it depends how you want to instill things. More so, I always say it doesn't necessarily have to be about activities, instilling something, but just creating a safe environment or space for your child to be themselves. Do you
Yeah.
understand? And to be able to be vulnerable in whatever the case is, so that you are not telling a child or dictating to umntana do this way, do this way, do this that way. Like I'd say, understanding is a very big part of it. So you see in the
Mm,
way in which they act, you see in the way in which they become and what they do, so that you're able to sit back and say, okay, let me assess the situation, right?
mm.
And say, okay, then let's think about doing it like this and like that. I mean, that's how we just instill the right values in the child and the right way to perceive things. And then if you want to come up with certain activities, then you are able to see from there through assessment and understanding your child.
Mm, let's talk about the emotional side of the things now. Um, how do I make sure that umntanam understands and uyakwazi ukudetermine i-feelings zakhe and what are the strategies endinokuzisebenzisa mna as umzali at home to make sure into yobana if umntanam ufilisha ngohlobo, how do you deal with this emotion? How do you approach life after feeling ngolu hlobo? How do I do that?
Mm-mm. It's very important to be honest about how you feel about something.
Yes.
You need to be able to sit and say, okay, this is how I feel, and it's important to teach abantwana ukuba they must also be conscious about how they are feeling, right? And then they must be able to express it in that way.
Yeah.
So as umuntu omdala, you need to provide, like I said, a safe space for abantwana to be able to be vulnerable and say and be safe to confide in you. and whatever it is. But we know that impilo gazi iyaqhubeka. So we need to learn about the challenges that bring certain emotions, right? We need to
Mhm.
understand it. But then through that journey, we have to be with them through that journey so that they're not always holding on to something and always feeling like they are victims to something, but being able to teach them each day, okay, how are we going to manage this today? Do you understand? How are we going to process our feelings so that we're not always um sad. We're not always whatever the case is, but let's learn to live with it. Let's also learn to say whatever challenges that come with emotions, right? What are we going to do? What are the lessons that I am learning from it? Do you understand? So we look at certain things as a lesson so that it's easier to accept it and we move on and harness those emotions too.
So where do I make sure okay, let's move on to spiritual.
Mm,
I think spiritual blender with with emotions zakho kakhulu ziyakusebenzisa kakhulu. So I want us to talk about ke ngokubana siba encourage njani ke ngoku abantwana to explore their own spirituality without interrupting them as parents, or siba directed to direction thina esifuna ngaba. How do we do that?
sure. Okay, like yeah, well, as I said in the beginning, the certain way you would parent, let's say a 6-year-old might be different to the way you'll parent an 18-year-old. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is important as umntana and umzala, I mean, as umzala to lay certain foundations for umntana from a young age. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
when as umzala you go to church in Yasonda, wherever you go to Christian church or whatnot, take umntana wakho there. Do you understand? That's how you start spirituality, because how's a 6-year-old going to understand anything about this is the spirituality I know, the religion that I understand? Do you understand? So start that with them. So as they start to develop and grow and know themselves, they'll probably be like, I actually enjoy Buddhism. Do you understand? It's very different in terms of as a 6-year-old saying just be, no. But
Mm.
as they grow older, you often find that a lot of young adults, I'd say, or teens learning more about the macro factors, spiritual, religious, they start to explore themselves. Do you understand?
Mm. Yeah.
Then you just give them that space. However, you can't, sometimes they make the wrong decisions. A child's a child at the end of the day. You have to just be there
Yeah.
to guide them. But make sure that at home you teach them certain core fundamentals and values that they will take with them going further.
Mm. Masangena masikubulisa wethu sikwamkele. Thank you so much for choosing, and we are giving you the mid-morning radio. We call this one uMasakane. Mrs. Matsenze by 24 ke ngoku ibethele intsimbi yaka 11 o'clock. This is our last segment of the show. Sitshile ke sathi ke sincokela ke no Bophelo Tsholo. Phantsi kwesihloko esithi ke sena ke personal growth and self-investment. Sijonge ncakasana ke mental health, emotional, spiritual, physical, and social as aspect of children. Sincokola naye ke via uZoom. Tsholo, ndiyafuna xa siyivalayo into yobana we did explain all of these steps on how do you encourage umntana wakho into yobana makabehave njani, be it kusendlini, kwi-society or wherever. But there is one thing that I would like us to tackle, eyokugqibela, communication. Communication is very much important. So how do we teach our kids at home on how to communicate ngendlela right and nendlela enesidima, if I can put it like that?
Yes, yes, yes. I like that. Thank you. With that question, I love this question a lot. It's very important, and I don't think we talk about it enough. Do you
Yeah.
understand? Communication is very key, and how we put things out there.
All right. We are experiencing problems with Chulu.
Certain things.
Chulu, yeah, I'm not sure if Chulu, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you.
Yes, you continue. Correct.
Oh, okay. So I'll firstly say addressing conflict does not mean fighting.
Mm,
Let's start there. Do you understand? When you
yeah.
address something, you must go there knowing what you're trying to achieve. You understand?
Yeah.
Articulate yourself kahle, khuluma kahle with the person. Always have respect for yourself and the way you address yourself, but hlonipha abanye abantu, you know, articulate yourself kahle, but also your tone is important, you know. Don't go
Yeah.
with the intention to hurt someone or to gaslight. You understand? Whatever
Okay.
the situation, it could be for something good or for something, you know, addressing something bad. But conflict, of course, will always be on the negative side. But like I said, immediately, you know, once you start going with the intention ukulimaza abanye abantu or to gaslight, it takes away from your character and the reason why you're even there. Do you understand? Instead, speak about it with the person, address them, respect a person's standpoint and their feelings. Do you understand? Because it's valid, and vice versa. Your feelings are also valid. So be very transparent, speak clearly, and know exactly why you're there and what you are trying to achieve. Be assertive, but not aggressive.
Yeah, before I let you go, my love, there's one question someone is asking here. How do we develop self-confidence ebantwaneni?
Okay, so this is also something I love because it's important to me. I've got 4 children. So in terms of self-development and confidence in children, support and encourage all the time. Abantwana just need love. Do you understand? You need to be present in the lives of your children, engage with them, you know? That's how you build confidence in a child. Umntana just wants uthando and attention. You know, when you
Mm.
provide a healthy and safe environment for mntanakho ekhaya or wherever it is, teachers in the classroom, you're already building a character who feels confident and can be something and know that they can be something out there because they know they've got a strong support system and foundation. So
Oh,
I'll always just say support, encourage them, be present, and engage them.
yeah.
Yes.
Bophelo Tsholo from Edukasi, thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your Monday. It was lovely
I
being with you.
will.
All
Thank
right.
you. Razi
Thank
uBophelo Tsholo from Edukasi. She's a senior mentor. Phayana besixoxela ke nge-personal growth and self-investment. Sijonge ncakasana ke mental, emotional, spiritual, physical and social aspect of a teenager. Sivele ke mphulaphula. Imizuzu masenze beyi-28 ngoku ibethile intsimbi phambi kobana in fact ibethile intsimbi ka-11 o'clock. Siyabeleka ke ngoku siyapha ke ku-What's for lunch. You can send the number